Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Thursday, October 25th, 2018. Today, the big news story, the continued lie, the federal terrorism, the story of the bombs in the mail. They have some new details this morning. There's 3 new packages discovered by the FBI. One was sent to the actor Robert De Niro, who called Donald Trump the man from Taxi Driver back in 2016, the film he starred in. We'll get to that. And 2 to Joe Biden, supposedly. So what we're going to do is we're going to review how this entire story has been contrived by a code that is very important to this federal government, a code that is undeniable once you research it and acknowledge it. We're going to provide some examples of how the CIA works by this code, has all throughout history. And then we're going to end this video by calling the FBI about it and see if they're willing to do anything about it. So take your bets on how that's going to turn out, but that's how we'll finish this video, with a nice little call to the FBI. And don't worry out there about me making these phone calls. Yeah, the FBI came to my house. But remember, when they came to my house, they came with false accusations and no evidence. And they haven't done anything since. And there's nothing wrong with calling the FBI to report federal terrorism, because that's what we should all be doing. Let me make sure we're on the desktop here. We are. We're on the desktop. Okay. We're ready for the presentation. So I love this new piece about Robert De Niro. It just proves everything I was already saying even further. Let's scan down here to this headline. I just want you to want to make sure you know that this is accurate. So today's headline says the package addressed to Robert De Niro arrived yesterday, which was Wednesday, October 24th. And just wait until you see how this all comes together here. So Robert De Niro, he turned 75 years old August 17th. Him and Biden are both 75 years old right now. We're going to get to why that matters, 75. That goes back to that October 6th, 1940 headline from the New York Times about the New World Order pledged to the Jews. We'll get to that point, but we're going to start right here. Again, yesterday, October 24th, was the day leaving 68 days left in the year. And lo and behold, from Robert De Niro's birthday to yesterday was 68 days later. And again, Robert De Niro once criticized Trump. Here was the story. August 13th, 2016, had a video on it then. Robert De Niro compares Donald Trump to Taxi Driver. And you see how they emphasize Taxi Driver? Taxi Driver sums to 68. Okay? Like we talked about yesterday, this is a big number with the CIA. It's a big number with the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, 68. Barack Obama was the biggest name yesterday. They got a package, 68. 68 was a big year for the CIA. Excuse me. That was like a half yawn there. So anyway, the 68 riddles are continuing. But that's not all. Look at what year Taxi Driver came out. In 76. Taxi Driver came out in 76. Supposedly yesterday, a lot of people received package bombs. Package bomb 76. Taxi Driver also has Gematria of 76. Perfect. And look how old the Unabomber is right now. 76. I got to show you the ultimate kicker here. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that, but it's okay. The ultimate kicker here with the Unabomber is from his 76th birthday to the day of this news was his 156th day of his age, and Post Office has this gematria of 156. As we also talked about yesterday, the former head of the CIA, John O'Brennan, he received a package bomb. He turned 63 years old. That's the big Wall Street number. Wall Street bombed yesterday by the numbers. CIA and the Wall Street directly connected. We'll get to that. We'll review that. But from Brennan's 63rd birthday to October 24th was his 33rd day of his age. What do we know about 33? Masonry equals 33, secrecy 33, federal 33, order 33, October, the only month that sums to 33. When you write out 33, it sums to 156, like how it was Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, the package bomber's 156th day of his age of being 76. Do you even need to ask if the Unabomber was a federal psyop after realizing all this? We've already exposed this years ago. Earlier this year, I showed how the Unabomber was synced up with the Austin bombings and why it foreshadowed that there would just be 5 bombings in Austin, which is exactly where it concluded. So, coming back, we've covered our 68s and 76s pretty thoroughly, right? This is a federal government operation. The original definition of terrorism is government by intimidation. That's absolutely what this news is. Fear in the media, which is controlled by the government. FBI telling people to stay vigilant as if there's some actual threat out there and this isn't a giant psyop, which it is. But here's the piece about DeNiro and Biden both being 75 years old. As a reminder, New World Order 75, Order Out of Chaos 75, also in the base cipher, Order 75. And in case you think that's some sort of coincidence, we better go back to October 6, 1940 in the New York Times. That was the day we got the headline, New World Order Pledged to Jews. New York Times, October 6, 1940, page 10. And what is it about that date? Well, that date, 10 plus 6 plus 19 plus 40 equals 75. And this practice of coding numbers into words comes from the Jewish mysticism Kabbalah, which says God created the world by merging the letter with the number. This is knowledge for elites. The elites, including our government, they use this knowledge every day to play God over us with fear, propaganda, distraction, misinformation, confusion, every single day. Every single day. So we can make no mistake that the Biden DeNiro announcement today and them both being 75 isn't part of this ongoing riddle. Remember, it's not all Jewish people who are responsible, but there are a sect of Jewish people who go by the Talmud, and in the Talmud it says that the Jews are the chosen people and the non-Jews are the animal slave race known as Goyim. The Jews in the Talmud, it says that their purpose is to rule us and our purpose is to work and slave for them. So, not too hard to understand what's going on when you know the code, when you know about their mysticism, when you know about their secret code. It's not an accident that with the alphabetic order, A is 1 up to Z is 26, English equals 74, Gematria equals 74. That's the practice of coding numbers into words, Gematria. Jewish equals 74, Masonic 74, Holiday 74, Independence Day 74, 4th of July 74. None of it coincidental. But for a little more evidence of how, the CIA operates by the numbers, they nominated their new head on May 13th, 13/5, like 135. Gina Haspel, her full name's Gina Cherry Haspel, Gematria of 135. Central Intelligence Agency, 135. What a great day to nominate Gina, 13/5, May 13th. But they didn't confirm her on that date. They had to build onto their numerological ritual with the confirmation date. Notice her birthday is October 1st. From the date she was confirmed, which was May 17th, the 137th day of the year, to her upcoming birthday was 137 days. And why did they do that? Washington, D.C., with the alphabetic order is 137, and our base ciphers, government and authority, are also 137. Don't forget mind control, another 137. And this is the purpose of the CIA, to mind control the populace with propaganda, with fear, with intimidation. CIA controls a lot of things in this nation, from government to media to Wall Street. And you know what else we should review, just in case you missed yesterday's presentations? The big CIA puppet, Donald John Trump. We should talk about him. All presidents are CIA puppets, all of them, including the chump. I want you to see how this synced up here with Chump, knowing that your federal government operates by the code. Again, yesterday was the day leaving 68 days left in the year. CIA 68. 1968, the year 911 master plan went down by the CIA. Be sure to read my book if you don't know about it. Ted Kaczynski 68. That's the Unabomber. Barack Obama, 68. In our base ciphers, Donald J. Trump and his full name, Donald John Trump, summed to 68. And from Trump's birthday, which is June 14th, the flags, he's currently 72 years old, like President Trump. From his birthday to the bomb scares for all of his political enemies was his 133rd day of his age. White House, 133, president, 133, government, 133. Not an accident. Not at all. Especially since from 2015, I've been pointing out things like this to you guys. On September 30th, 2015, Forbes put out this headline: Trump, 133rd richest in nation. Severed from Forbes over the 33 years he's been listed. And I pointed out then, are they signaling that the Trump is going to be the next president installed? And I was saying then, it would make a lot of sense. They're trying to divide the nation at a escalating rate. Trump would be a perfectly divisive character, you know, exactly what he's been. You guys have never seen my video where I was talking in my garage about why Trump was the perfect next president, and the lights suddenly turned on in the garage. It was like a miracle. You should go back and find that video. Of course, my channel's been deleted since then, but I'm pretty sure that video's been re-uploaded. Then at the beginning of 2016, Fox News ran this story: Donald Trump makes his 133rd appearance on Fox tonight. And they didn't do that for any other appearance, but you can understand why they did it for 133 now, because the whole media works by this code. Signaling. If you haven't read my book, I show you all sorts of predictive programming for the Trump to be put in office going back decades. We do not have elections here. We have a rigged democracy. It's not a democracy. It's a Masonic dictatorship. So also yesterday, Donald Trump, the guy announced as the 45th president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Again, yesterday was the day leaving 68 days left in the year. The Dow Jones fell 608 points, 608, emphasis on the digit 68. Market 68, Donald John Trump 68, CIA 68. You got to read this article about the rise of the national security state, the CIA and Wall Street by Mark Gaffney, written in 2012. It's not the only article out there about that, but that's a great one. And again, just as a reminder, Donald Trump announces the 45th president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the wall during the same time as the hit show House of Cards, where House of Cards and Make America Great Again have the same gematria. Also, Donald Trump had his election, or his, not his election, his convention at Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, by the numbers. Remember, that began July 18th, 18/7, a span of 187 days before Inauguration Day. George Washington equals 187, Washington, D.C. 187, ancient accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry 187. Anyhow, after he had his convention at Quicken Loans Arena, Quicken Loans began running this ad on TV, an ad that stayed up for a year, about Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall. Don't forget that Humpty Dumpty equals 58, like Freemasonry, like secret society, like how Trump was the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election after announcing he'd run from the 58-story Trump Tower and hiring the 58-year-old Steve Ray for Inauguration Day. And don't ever forget this either. Commercial from 2009, talking about Born for the Job in the same suit and tie, sheep, 11 and 9, like the date he became the president-elect, 11/9, November 9th, the anniversary of the fall of the wall. What I'm trying to say to you is all of this stuff is a perfect script. This was a Serta mattress ad, by the way. This was for Serta mattresses. Berlin Wall, Serta overlap. Wall Street also equals 63, like how Brennan's 63 years old right now. Wall Street's also 45. So anyhow, just some review here. We're going to call the FBI and see how long they listen to us. We got to explain as much as we can. They got to know what's going on. Also, if you listened to my radio show last night, Zenith of the Alpha, longtime caller who now has his own YouTube channel, he said he found some connections with Hinckley in this incident yesterday. John Hinckley's who attempted to assassinate Reagan. You know, yesterday's story is an attempted assassination of a former President Obama, right? With the bomb in the mail. But John Hinckley, so I just wanted to look at it. John Hinckley's also 63 years old. And his birthday is May 29th, which was JFK's birthday. John F. Kennedy assassinated, was born May 29th. That's the 149th day of the year, which is the 35th prime number. JFK was the 35th president. He was elected on a date with 35 numerology. The word Catholic equals 35. He ran against Nixon that year. It was actually Nixon's 305th day of his age, the day of the election. And, of course, JFK, again, the only Catholic president. So perfect birthday to win that presidency, the 35th. And interesting that Hinckley, who tried to assassinate a president, has the same birthday as JFK. And not only that, May 29th, again, is the 149th day of the year. From his 63rd birthday, and consider JFK was killed in 63, right? November 22nd, 63. From Hinckley's 63rd birthday to yesterday was 149 days, just like I was born on the 149th day of the year. So I'm going to see what Zenith of the Alpha churns out. He said he saw some connections and he was going to make a video, so I just decided to take a peek myself and see what I could find. Hey, the other thing about the assassination date of Reagan, March 30th, 81, 3 plus 30 is 33, right? Plus 19 more is 52, plus 81 more is 133. So this was a date with 133 numerology. We just talked about how all these bomb scares were on Trump's 133rd day of his office. Big number that comes up with the presidency. All right, and then just before we make this call to the FBI, original definition of terrorism right here: a system of terror, government by intimidation. The system of terror. A policy intended to strike with terror those against whom it is adopted. The fact of terrorizing or condition of being terrorized. I noticed they changed it in 1964, year after the JFK assassination. But this is what we live in, you guys. We live in a terrorist state. This is why every day our government and our media instills fear. And the reason why is if you take any psychology class, you know that fear is a mechanism to control. You have a scared populace, they're easier to control. They're going to look for someone to keep them safe, like Big Brother, you know, like the federal government. So here, I just want to pull this back up here, just in case I need it as a reference when I call the FBI. Hopefully we can get through here pretty quick. Just got to make sure I got my Robert De Niro notes up. Let's see. Okie dokie. So the FBI's number, I love it. 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's not a hard one to remember. Hey, if anybody out there while we're on hold wants to pick up the book, you know, it'll do you wonders. It'll do you wonders to pick up that book I've written. Let's see here. Again, I mean, if you really want to know what's going on in the world, you got to know this code. Every single day it's used to script every last thing that comes through the media. I mean, it's not an exaggeration. It's every last story scripted this way. All right. 1-800-CALL-FBI. Here we go.
911 for taking emergency calls. For emergencies, please call 911. Thank you for calling to provide a tip related to an FBI major case. This call will be recorded for quality assurance, investigative, other purposes. If you do not wish to be recorded, please hang up and submit your tip online at tips.fbi.gov. You will be asked to provide identifying information about yourself and or the persons about whom you are calling. The FBI requests this information to assist in investigating your tip. You do not have to provide your name or other personal information. However, without the requested information, law enforcement agencies may be impeded or precluded from investigating your tip. Any information you provide about yourself or others may be used for authorized purposes. Press 1 to speak with a customer service representative in English. Press 2 to speak with a customer service representative in Spanish.
If you are calling about the suspected bomb packages in the New York or DC area that have been highlighted in the news, please press 1.
Perfect.
At this time, we are experiencing a high volume of calls with longer wait times. You can now get immediate service by...
Thank you for calling the FBI. And I have your first and last name?
Yeah, it's Zachary Hubbard.
Hubbard?
Correct.
And how do you spell that last name?
Hubbard.
Okay, and a contact telephone number for you, please.
Yeah, 206-271-4172.
And your date of birth, please.
July 21st, 1983.
How can I help you today, sir?
Yeah, so I know who's responsible for the bombs in the mail.
Okay, and who is that?
It is the federal government led by the CIA. And I have the evidence, so if you're ready to take notes.
Okay, so you said it's the government led by the CIA?
Exactly.
All right, sir. So what I have to do is I have to get you transferred to another representative that will take that additional information that you do have, okay? So please stay on the line. There's about a 14-minute wait. We are experiencing higher than normal call volume, so we do ask you to please stay in line to get this information reported at the FBI.
Okay, if you could expedite it, I'd appreciate it. I don't really want to wait for 14 minutes. You guys need to have this information now.
Okay, sir, I do apologize. I do have to get you transferred, and I apologize for the wait, but we are experiencing high call volume due to this whole bomb thing. So please hold.
At this time, we are experiencing a high volume of calls with longer wait times. You can now get immediate service by visiting us at tips.fbi.gov, which can take online tips 24 hours a day. Your online form will be processed here at the FBI for further evaluation.
Well, while I'm on hold, maybe I'll interact with the chat to help the time pass. Let's see if I can figure out how to get to the chat here. She forwarded me to the conspiracy theorist department. We'll find out here soon enough.
At this time, we are experiencing a high volume of calls with longer wait times. You can now get immediate service by visiting us at tips.fbi.gov, which can take online tips 24 hours a day. Your online form will be processed here at the FBI for further evaluation.
How do I think they're going to respond? I don't know. They better listen. They better not hang up on me. Every time I've called the FBI before, they've hung up. But never before have I been transferred, so I'm interested to see where I'm being transferred to. This has never happened. Mick says I should write a part 2 called By the Numbers. Hey, Holly, I see that you still got your wrench there. I'm glad to see that. Mix, I'm going to make you a moderator too. You're a great contributor to the channel. I almost called my first book By the Numbers, so maybe I will call the next book By the Numbers. We'll see. I can't believe I have to wait 14 minutes.
At this time, we are experiencing a high volume of calls with longer wait times.
Being transferred to the Mossad, possibly.
Tips.fbi.gov, which can take online tips 24 hours a day. Your online form will be processed here at the FBI for further evaluation.
Unique says you all need to get my book, and she's right, you guys. You need to pick up this book and be reading right now. You could be reading right now while we're on hold. You could get 14 more minutes of genius. All right, I see the troll in the chat. If I was irrelevant, you wouldn't be here trolling every day under a new alt account, you know? So, you know, adios. Go make your next troll account. You're out of here. Yeah, that'd be nice if they connected me to Chump. I would love to talk to Chump.
At this time, we are experiencing a high volume of calls with longer wait times. You can now get immediate.
Can you imagine all the paranoid media watching Americans right now that, you know, anytime some stranger pulls up in front of their house, they're looking out the window, like, oh, who's that out there? Is that a terrorist? I could just imagine all these people calling. Some new guy just walked down the street. They think he's the bomber. I know how America is. For the person who asked where you can order the book, look right below the video. You see where it says Gematria Effect News with my icon? Look right below that where it says Buy Letters and Numbers book here. And then you just click on the listing, which should take you to Etsy. I don't have it on share screen right now. Hold on. I'll share screen to make sure you see what I'm talking about. Hold on. Got to figure out how to get back there. Hold on. How do I do this? Here we go. So if you're watching the video, you should, down below, you should see this right here. Down below the video, Buy Letters and Numbers book here. If you click on that, it should load up this window, and you can buy the book right here. And again, I'll just remind people, if you can't afford $9.99, if you can't afford the book for $9.99, you can send me an email at gematriaeffectnews@gmail.com and tell me what price you can afford. What you need to do is send the donation for what you can afford to my PayPal, which is www.paypal.me/Zachary Hubbard. Make whatever donation you can afford that's under $9.99, and I'll email you the book directly. So some people have said that $9.99 is too expensive for them. I want everyone to be able to have the book. But I got to raise revenue to take this movement further. Like right now, I need to be in Washington, D.C. with an army behind me barking through a megaphone, you know? We need to be taking the federal government down. Enough is enough. How many more years of tyranny and terrorism do we have to put up with? So that's how you get to the book. See if anybody can step up and buy it. Email there. Don't tell us, man. Self-publish your book, Wand Print on Demand. Let's check it out. Wand Print. I only got one hand to type with here.
We are experiencing a high volume of calls with longer wait times.
Wand Print on Demand.
Service by visiting us at tips.fbi.gov, which can take
Wiki
online
wand?
tips 24 hours a day. Your online form will be processed here at the FBI for further evaluation.
Magic Wand Publishing, West Africa. You guys, again, I talked about this last night on my radio show. Part of the reason that nobody wants to publish this book is because they think that they can be sued because I used news headlines in here without getting the permission of the news agencies. Thank you, Karma360, who just picked up the book. Much appreciated. Karma360 stood up and got it. Thank you. But I was saying last night on my radio show, I might just have to write a second book that can actually be published by these publishers, even these self-publishing places. And in that book, reference this, say that if you want more information, you need to get this ebook online, which is only available in electronic format. So I might just write a second book here. And thank you, Tila Golden. Appreciate it. 2 books sold. See if I can get the FBI to buy one of my books too. I'll ask them if the conversation goes far enough.
Experiencing a high volume of calls with longer now get immediate service by visiting us at tips.fbi.gov, which can take online tips 24 hours a day. Your online form will be processed here at the FBI for further evaluation.
Fred Arroyo should be banned. Oh, I see. Fred Arroyo's posting a lot of Jesus comments. Be something to find out that Fred Arroyo was being paid to post Jesus comments. I'll let him go. He's not hurting anybody. Fred, I don't hate you, man. It's just like, how come Jesus isn't on the phone calling the FBI about the terrorism right now? You know what I mean? I can't wait around for Jesus anymore. Too much tyranny. You guys can believe in Jesus if you want, even though that wasn't his name. It was Yeshua. But, you know, if Jesus was here on YouTube making phone calls or leading the march downtown or saying end the Fed, then I'd be all about, you know, getting behind Jesus. But can't wait anymore, Fred. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Hitting the like button is a good idea, too, while we're waiting here. We could use some more likes. This could show up in more people's feed. Maybe.
At this time, we are experiencing a high volume of calls with longer wait times. You can now get immediate service by visiting us at tips.fbi.gov, which can take online tips 24 hours a day. Your online form will be processed here at the FBI for further evaluation.
Richard Quinn on Facebook, he's got the Daily Dose of Gematria conversation going. I'm definitely not Jesus, you guys. I am not. Jesus would probably be able to keep us cool against flat earthers. I can't. Alex Jones's banning was just mockery by the numbers, you know. Just signs of the times. Etsy's not my website. I sell it on Etsy because I know that they're a reputable site. My mom sold wreaths on Etsy for a lot of years. I guess while we're waiting for the FBI, I can plug my mom's. The reason I sold on here is because my mom's used this for a long time to sell her wreaths. My mom makes wreaths. It is the wreath time of the year.
We are experiencing a high volume of calls with longer wait times. You can now get immediate service by visiting us at tips.fbi.gov.
If you search
take online tips 24 hours a day.
If you search Donna Hubbard,
will be processed here at the FBI for further evaluation.
Her wreath site will come up, and she has a ton of options. She has a lot of things you can get. So she makes more than just wreaths too. She makes all sorts of natural decorations for your house, like baskets like this, hydrangea arrangements. And they're all made with real natural materials. She goes out in the woods and picks a lot of it. Some stuff she has to buy. So, just search Donna Hubbard. That's my mother. She's got some Halloween wreaths, I guess. I don't know where she got this angel ornament from. I know she didn't make that. But
at this time, we are experiencing a high volume of calls with longer wait times. You can now get immediate service by visiting us at tips.fbi.gov, which can take online tips 24 hours a day. Your online form will be processed here at the FBI for further evaluation.
I think we got to wait about 5 more minutes here. We're on the 14-minute countdown. But yeah, here's my mom's wreaths. She would love it if you picked up some. Well, now Fred Arroyo's starting to annoy me. Now he's saying things like deep state. All of you guys who walk around and say deep state and don't you guys see that you're just like a walking, talking robots just repeating what you're told? Which doesn't surprise me from anybody who's just spamming Jesus all over. I mean, that's pretty much a walking, talking robot and follower too. But deep state, this terminology that came out, because all the people who say deep state, they think Trump's not a part of it, even though his whole cabinet's, you know, part of the ongoing presidential administrations. Anytime I hear somebody say deep state, I already know everything I need to know about them.
We are experiencing a high volume of calls with longer wait times. You can now get immediate service by visiting us at tips.fbi.gov, which can take online tips 24 hours a day. Your online form will be processed here at the FBI for further evaluation.
Arcane Bane says he wants to pick up the book. Well, please do it. Susan loves that I'm promoting my mother. Getting a call from a telemarketer right now. Richard Quinn's not taking credit for his work, but everybody should go to Richard Quinn's page
We are experiencing a high volume
on Facebook, Daily Dose of Gematria. Here, let's see if we can find it real quick. Facebook, Daily Dose of Gematria. There it is. So right here, you can come to your Facebook if you have a Facebook account, and you can become a part of the page, contribute here. So a lot of good things happening over here. Facebook, Daily Dose of Gematria. Somebody watched Judge Joe Brown today. You know what my favorite judge headline of the year was so far? Judge Judy defending her $47 million a year salary. You remember this? I laughed when I saw this. Oh my, it just never ends with the 47s. Her $47 million salary is not unreasonable, you know? Isn't it amazing when you know Gematria? In case you guys don't know this, in case you're new here, if you type out gavel, if you type out judge,
take online tips 24 hours a day. Your online form will be processed here at the FBI for further evaluation.
Same Gematria in all 4 base ciphers. And when I first began this research, I didn't know about reverse Gematria. I just knew about the alphabetic order and the alphabetic order rules number. Thought I was getting on there. I noticed that the word obey was the exact same in all 3 of these ciphers. Got to obey the judge's gavel. Remember, Gorsuch was installed April 7th, the first Supreme Court justice confirmed by Trump. April 7th, 4-7, that's also the 97th day of the year, Supreme 97. Jay Fresh says he loves the book. Thank you.
At this time, we are experiencing a high volume of calls with longer wait times.
Welcome, Youssef.
Get immediate service by visiting us at tips.fbi.gov, which can take online tips 24 hours a day. Your online form will be processed here at the FBI for further evaluation.
Here, I think we're getting near the call. I'll put it back on me so you can see how my face looks while I'm talking to these FBI folks here. Should be about time. We've waited about 14 minutes. All right. Keep looking at the chat here while we're waiting. Somebody says, what is the deal with the 333 and the CNN logo? I've never noticed that before, but 333 has to do with the Masonic compass set at 47 degrees. You can learn about that in my book. CNN logo. 333. Let me look at it. Sometimes my eyes aren't best at seeing these things, but I don't see the 333. Maybe somebody's already drawn it out for me.
At this time, we are experiencing a high volume of calls with longer wait times. You can now get immediate service by visiting us at tips.fbi.gov, which can take online tips 24 hours a day. Your online form will be processed here at the FBI for further evaluation.
Thanks, Crystal. Yeah, she works hard at her wreaths. Yeah, her wreaths are really nice. They're kind of expensive. We're calling the FBI, Chuckles. We're on hold. I let them know I had the culprits, and they put me on hold, so hopefully I'm getting connected to someone real important. Mark Passio never responds to me. I've reached out to Mark Passio probably 30 times in the last 5 years. Never gets back to me, so I overwhelmingly like Mark Passio's work, but I don't know. All these people who don't get back to me make me curious.
At this time, we are experiencing a high volume of calls with longer wait times. You can now get immediate service by visiting us at tips.fbi.gov, which can take online tips 24 hours a day. Your online form will be processed here at the FBI for further evaluation.
So just something to think about. Fred Arroyo, who's bringing us our sermon today, he says, you know, if something terrible happens in the world, you can only be saved by Jesus. But what about all the people who've experienced terrible things in the world and Jesus wasn't there to save them? You know, I think you guys should consider these things. My mom should get into glass blowing. Well, you need all sorts of equipment to do glass blowing. But yeah, glass blowing is very cool. I actually, when I was driving for Uber and Lyft, I drove around this. Oh, here we go. Hold on.
Thank you for holding. Can you confirm the spelling of your first and last name?
Yes, Zachary Hubbard, Zachary. Last name Hubbard.
Okay, and your date of birth was 7/21/83?
That's correct.
Okay, and your phone number is 206-271-4172?
That's correct.
Okay, and it says here that you know who's responsible for the bombs in the mail.
I do.
And you believe that's the government?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I mean, who else has all these people's addresses? I mean, just think about it right there. But yeah, I'll prove that they do it.
You're calling the government to tell me that the government is responsible for sending bombs in the federal mail.
Well, you're the FBI, and I'm going to let you know that the CIA did it. And I think you guys have the power to investigate the CIA. So
Thank you.
she just hung up on me. Can you believe that? They made me hold and she already knew the whole thing, and then she just hangs up on me right away? That was so disappointing. But you guys, that just makes my point right there. That is why we need to shut down this federal government, you know? You know what I'm going to do since I'm pissed? I am going to call the FBI agent who came to my house. Hold on. I have his business card over here somewhere. Oh, boy. Hold on. Here we go. $14 minutes for a hold just for that to happen? Okay, hold on. I got the FBI agent here who came to my house. I'm going to call him and see what's up.
full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
Unfortunately, that wasn't him calling back. Oh, here we go. This is the FBI calling back. Hello?
Hey, this is Eric. Somebody call me?
Yes, Eric. We've met before. You came to my house August 21st this year.
Oh, yeah. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. What's up?
Yeah, so I actually just called the national FBI, and they had me on hold for a long time.
Yeah.
And they transferred me. I had to wait on hold to be transferred to talk to the person that was supposed to listen to me. And as soon as I got to talk to them, they just said I was ridiculous and hung up on me. And I thought, I was so irritated, I thought I would call you since you're my local FBI rep.
Sure.
So are you following this bomb scare thing?
Yes, I am. I mean, can't help but follow it. It's all in the news. But what's up?
Do you have to investigate it?
Us?
Yeah.
I mean, not locally. We're not. It's we have offices all over the United States. So whichever offices are affected, they would be the ones who are, or whichever states are affected, or counties, or whatever. Those are the offices that would investigate it.
Okay.
Unless we get a when I went out to talk to you, that was part of an investigative lead, and so sometimes Kazan would get a lead that's sent out because there's maybe a Yakima connection or something like that, and then in that case we would go out and then we would investigate it, or if there was a lead here, for somewhere else in the country, we would forward it to the whichever office is affected.
Got it. I got it. So if had somebody been impacted here in the city, then you'd be investigating.
Correct.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I don't even know if it's worth me talking to you about it then, since you're not working on it. But I just got to ask out of curiosity, have you been doing a follow-up investigation on what you came out here to talk to me about?
No, that was all I was sent out to do was just let you know if somebody didn't I guess had a issue with your with the podcast or with your, and they said sent me out there just to see what was going on, and just tell you that, hey, somebody was looking at it, and make sure you're not planning to do any commit any kind of crime, and that was it. That's the end of it.
Okay.
I did see your follow-up YouTube video. Somebody showed it to me. Which, and I don't care. I mean, you can show my card to whoever you want, whatever. But I hope there wasn't a misunderstanding.
No, there's not. And I told people that you seem like a pretty polite and genuine guy. So, no, there wasn't some misunderstanding.
There's nothing else to this. And I figured that when I first got it, because I've investigated things before, and it was just when we get a lead like that, we like with the bomb thing, we have to act on it. So,
right.
I had no choice to go out there and talk to him. So
sure. And just from my end, the reason I'm making those videos is because I don't trust the government at all. What you're not aware that's happened in my life is I used to have an undercover cop that just hung out outside my house, literally parked right next to my house for about a year straight. And the day he stopped parking there was the same day that my entire house got ripped off and every single thing stolen out of it. Like a cleaning crew came through there. And I thought I was real curious because I got hit in a really tight window. I wasn't gone for that long, and I came home and everything was cleared out of my house. And that cop never parked there again, not a single day after. And I still remember that day. It was November 2014. It was freezing outside. They had something going on called the polar vortex, if you remember that. And the police asked me to stay outside when I came home that morning, and they said they'd be right over. They didn't show up for 4 hours. So I was freezing outside. And when those two officers came, they were both laughing and grinning. It was like they'd been in my house. It's like they already knew what was in there. And
I mean, I'm the same way in that as far as I mean, obviously I work with the government, but it's ridiculous how many people just follow things blindly without checking it out, or verifying things, or I thought it was when you called to make sure that I was a an FBI agent and all that, and that's something any person should do, It's just because there's too many people out there and too many, even in the government, who just have a different agenda, So.
Absolutely. And You know, Eric, I just got to ask you a question. Who in this world has access to all of these government officials' addresses and actors like Robert De Niro? Who has that kind of access in the normal citizenry?
Well, you know what I would also ask is how many of these bombs were sent out so far? What is it, like?
They say 10 now. It's up to 10.
Something like that. And they're showing pictures of them and not one detonated.
Right.
I mean, it's just either you have some really inept guy, but I find it interesting when the media just assumes that that it's some right-wing conspiracy or something like that.
Sure. Well, if you get some time, you should check out my work on it on YouTube. You might really enjoy it. Eric, I really appreciate.
The same. Which website is it, or is it the same YouTube thing?
Gematria Effect News is my channel. Gematria Effect News. Yeah, same one that I did the video for you on.
Okay, cool. All
right, you take care. Thank you.
You too.
All right, bye. You see, he's actually not such a bad person, but I'm still suspicious. When he came over here, he was acting like he was trying to be my friend too. So anyway, he's better than the people at the National Call Center. Did you guys notice that the one picture that they kept showing of the one package that they kept showing yesterday had that address of 777 on it? Here, hold on. Let me in case you don't know this, let me go to my desktop here, and I want to show you what's up with 777 in light of what we talked about earlier with the order out of chaos code. Got to get it back to the desktop. Hold on here. Let's see. You don't know about this 777 thing. It's an order out of chaos number. Mine's how Trump, which has everything to do with this ritual, took office at 70 years, 7 days, and 7 months. Let's see. Here we go. I think I got the 777 part here. All right, so yesterday, all day, if you watched the news, we saw this address from Debbie Wasserman Schultz, 777 Sawgrass Corporate Parkway, Sunrise, Florida, misspelled. There's probably a reason they misspelled it. 33325. And again, in Jewish Gematria, which is our most important cipher outside of the base ciphers, I'm still so irritated about how that lady who I mean, oh my God, I'm still annoyed about that. Order out of chaos. 777. And again, Donald Trump here. Donald Trump birthday. It's June 14th, 1946, but just make sure you see this. I'm sure most people don't have his birthday memorized like I do. Him, George W. Bush, and Clinton all born right next to each other, all born and bred to be for their jobs. It's like Trump tells you in the Serta commercial. But from his birthday to the day that he took office, January 20th, 2017, notice he was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. 777. The whole Masonry thing is order out of chaos. That's their motto. Ordo ab cal. And, I was saying before then, Donald Trump would be the order out of chaos candidate, and that's all he's been. Divisive rhetoric, back and forth. He's like a human roller coaster. So no doubt they were showing this image for the numbers all day. I'm sure there's a whole lot more that's coded into this thing. 1011 10019. What's 119? All-seeing eye, Orthodox, Star of David. So I was hoping those phone calls would go a little bit better, but you got to hear the FBI agent that's out here. It sounds like he's a skeptic of this whole thing. He's saying it doesn't make any sense, this story. I think he gets it. My guess is he's like a teacher, that knows the teaching system's bankrupt, but hey, it's his job and he's got to pay the bills, and that's why he does it. So. Well, if you didn't see the whole phone call to the FBI, at first I told the one lady, and she said she would connect me to who I needed to talk to, and then we waited on hold for 14 minutes, and then that lady read out what I said and then hung up without listening to a word. Trump's got all sorts of special gematria. I'll show you guys something about Trump real quick. Let's see here. Trump's mother. Oops, I didn't type mother right, but that's her. This is Trump's mother's name. I want you to see this. This woman died at age 88. She died close to the time that Donald Trump's father died as well. But she was born May 10th, 1912. She died August 7th, 2000. She died 89 days after her birthday, and on 8/7, if you add 87 and 89, and you get the average of those numbers, it's 88, but she died at age 88. I think it's interesting that she died at age 88 on 8/7, 89 days after her birthday. But her name in our most pure cipher, the cipher you're supposed to use for calculating your name, which is the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, her name sums to 88. And remember, Trump with the alphabetic order is 88, just like how the Republican Party is 88. And September 6, 2016, I'll never forget the date, 9/6 like Freemason, 6/9 like New World Order. Donald Trump endorsed by 88 generals. And if you guys weren't following me in 2015, every single day I was just showing how that headlines coded the number 88 over and over and over and over. But just near the end of just before, about 2 months before the vote, then he got this big headline endorsed by 88 retired generals. Remember, you had the guy giving him the purple heart on the stage. Purple's got that gematria of 88. Goes back to George Washington, another 88. Masonic rituals, 88. We just, in Gematria school, we were just looking at Trump Tower and the building that was there before Trump Tower was. Remember, Donald Trump announced he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower. The building that was there before was demolished on a date with 88 numerology. And shoot, it's going to be hard for me to find that post. I forget the name of the building that was there before. We just did this in Gematria school the other night, but right now I can't think of the name of the building. Hold on. Building demolished for Trump Tower. The day they demolished it, though, was a date with 88 numerology. What a day to that's what it was, the Bonwit Teller building. Okay, let me search for that. It was a historic building. People didn't want it destroyed, but Trump wanted his new tower, so they had to destroy it by the numbers. The tower was first opened October 16th, 1929, which was a date with 47 numerology as well as 74. Remember, the Freemason logo, the compass is set at 47 degrees, is a tribute to the 47th problem of Euclid, which is about how to establish foundation 47 for a structure. That's why this nation's birthday is the 4th day of the 7th month. But let's see. Did I not put it in this post? Oh, here it is. The tower, the Bonwit Tower was demolished July 1st, 1980, 7 + 1 + 80. 88 date numerology. They destroyed the building to make way for Trump Tower. So you just see how ritualistic this number is for Trump. And then, of course, the building's 58 stories, like how Donald Trump announced that he was running for the 58th U.S. presidential election from this building. It's not hard to see how the rituals are done. I see Holly saying if Zach doesn't see that, email him. I'm guessing that somebody needs help getting the book. I don't see the comments. But yeah, if you need help, send an email to Gematria Effect News, especially if it's the book. I'll send it to you as soon as I see your email. Hello, Tricia. Okay, I see it. Okay, so Miss Camacho, please email me at gematriaeffectnews@gmail.com. Here, I'll write it in the chat right now. If you're looking at the chat, I'm going to write my email there. Just send me an email, say, I need help getting the book. I'll email it to you. You'll be able to download it in an instant. So, thank you, Black Oasis. He says he wants to donate $10 every time he gets paid. Really? You don't even have to do that, man. I mean, you buy the book one time for $10, you've done more than enough. If all the people out here got this book, that would be plenty. That'd be enough to finance the movement. You also asked me, what is my end game? Well, my end game is to end the federal government and to end this corrupt media and restore sensibility in the world. Shut down this corrupt education system. I just want all this stuff ended. Our education system's bankrupt. It brainwashes children. It doesn't prepare them for living in this world at all. It doesn't teach them anything about the natural environment. It doesn't teach them critical thinking. Just teaches them to believe BS. Confuses them about subjects that are important. Our whole education system's defunct. Our whole government's a fraud. Our whole news media is a propaganda organization. So my end game is to end all these things. And, if we can restore better things in their place, then that can be part of it. But my thing is to end it because it all needs to be ended. That's square one. We can see what happens from there. So, Black Oasis says he's trying to help me get to Jerusalem. If you want to donate $10 every paycheck, man, I'm not going to object. I'm just saying that's really generous. If you can afford that, I really appreciate it. But I just really wish at the same time that the 20-some thousand people subscribe to this channel who don't really do anything, who don't share the work, who don't, support the book, I wish they would get up and do something. I don't know why they don't want to support the book. They think, I guess they just think that the free videos are good enough, but they don't realize how much better the book is than my videos. Monty Williams, that should be a moderator right there. I see a moderator. So, she says, hit the like button. She's right. I was just about to make somebody else a moderator, and then the chat skipped. Where'd they go? I like this Suzanne. She should be a moderator. Can't have enough moderators around here. There. I like Spirit of Truth. They're always a nice person. You can be a moderator too. All right, you guys. I'm going to take a little break. I got things to get done for the Patreon customers. You guys, by the way, I'm almost to 1,000 people on the Patreon. And I said once I get to 1,000, I'm going to do an hour podcast/video cast every single day on there. The revenue is higher than I thought it would be. I thought a lot of people would sign up at the dollar tier. So I'm probably going to start that even before we get to 1,000. And, the daily podcast, what we'll be reviewing the morning news stories and then the big stories from yesterday, and just every day have a nice, clean, essentially Gematria news slant that's an hour long. Some days I'll probably go over. You know how I am. I'm long-winded. I get on my rants and then 15 minutes goes by. But Patreon.com, I'm thinking about making the daily podcast even eligible for the dollar members. So if you want to sign up at the dollar tier on Patreon, that'll get you the daily news production, if you will. And again, all this revenue, we're trying to build it up so we can hire some people. Jonathan, who co-hosts on my radio show, he really wants some stable work. I'd like to get Jonathan some work. I need the revenue up a little bit higher and to know that people are going to stick around and this is going to be consistent before I can officially hire him. I don't want to have to hire him and then say, well, Jonathan, that worked for a month, but all my Patreons went away. So the wrench means you're a moderator, Shane. It means you can ban trolls. Essentially gives you the privilege to ban trolls. Trisha should be a moderator. She's a great addition. All right, guys, I'll be back today. I'm sure there'll be more things to cover, but I got to work on some things that are due for the Patreon members. And appreciate everyone listening. I was hoping that FBI call was going to go better. But in a way, the way it went is fine because it just showed what our federal government's all about. I mean, why should we pay a dollar of taxes to these people? I actually just went and talked to a tax accountant, and I learned how I can pay 0 taxes this year. I might just try to do it. So I don't want to pay these people $1. Yeah, we do need people to hand out flyers. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the like. But I'm going to end this. It'll start over. It'll upload, and then everybody will be able to watch the presentation and what happened when I called the FBI. All right, you guys. I'll be back soon enough. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget it. All right, truth seekers. Until next time.